everyone, it's Carissa and I have a fun and sort of easy Valentine's Day card for you today. I'm going to be using the Xoxo stamp set from Stampin' Up! And just this pattern here that has the X's and O's on it. And I'm going to be making a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch square card. So I have this cut at 4 1/4 by 8 1/2 and then just scored at 4 1/4 to create my white card base. And then I have also a piece of 4 by 4 piece of white paper that I'm going to be cutting a window out with this Quick Cuts or Lifestyle Crafts nesting squares die. So I'll show you how I'm going to use that in just a minute. But first I want to start out with stamping and embossing this piece of cardstock here. So what I'm going to start out with doing is inking the stamp up with Versamark ink. And you'll see why I'm going to do this in just a minute, because I'm going to actually emboss this in cherry cobbler. So once I ink this up with the Versamark, I'm then going to go over it with the cherry cobbler to add the color. And this is because I don't have a cherry cobbler craft stamping pad. So if you had that, you could use that, or some sort of pigment ink. So I'm going to ink that up really well. And then I am going to stamp this, hopefully, directly in the center of my card as best I can. It's hard for me to see without putting my head in the shot, so. And then I'm going to use clear embossing powder, coat this, and then emboss it with my heat tool. Okay, so I have my card base embossed here, and I just kind of want to set it aside and allow it to kind of firm up. And while it's still a little warm, you can kind of try to work some of the warp out of it, because when you emboss a large segment like that or portion of your card, you will get a little bit of warping. So you can just kind of maneuver that and play with that as it warms and dries. And you can even stick it underneath your block like that and let it cool kind of flat. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the next portion of this card. And what I'm going to do, I'm taking this 4 by 4 piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to create a window right in the center of this using this Lifestyle Crafts nesting squares die. And these are really cool dies because they're so easy to store, and you can see right where you're cutting. So what I'm going to do is just take this over to my die cutting machine and set it right in the middle and run it through. So I've Okay, so I've taken this and I've cut my window out, and you can see how nicely that cut there. And then I've run it through the embossing machine, or the cutting machine as well, using the Perfect Polka Dots die or embossing folder. What I do want to say is that Lifestyle Crafts is re-releasing their Revolution die cutting machine for a short period of time, and it actually has a magnetic platform, which I really am interested in trying that, because your dies just slide right on there and they stick on the platform, and then you just run it through, so you don't get a lot of that movement with that. So I'm really interested to try that machine out. So this is done, and I can just set that aside. Okay, so I'm going to start working on the embellishment portion of this card, and I have cut out this Sizzlets, lots of tags, label number 2 from Stampin' Up, and a wide oval pinch as well in the Whisper White. And I can go ahead and adhere this. And I just want to adhere this oval right here in the center. And then I'm going to take these little X's and O's, and they're just cut from a die. And I am going to attach them using some two-way glue. And what I want to do is just kind of make sure that I center the first two and then work out. So I'm going to use these points right here and just center these as best I can. Okay, and then I have my X here. Oh, you know what? I did this backwards, but that's okay. I'll just flip the O over. And then put this one. Okay, so I've got my little letters glued down, and I'm gonna let those kind of set up a little bit. And while those dry just a bit, I'm going to go ahead and bring my card base back in and this frame piece, and I'm going to lay it right over that, but I'm going to use some, I don't even know what brand this is. I'm thinking it's Scotch or 3M or something, but it's just a dimensional tape. And the reason I'm using this rather than dimensionals is because I want a nice, firm, supported edge all the way around this frame so that it kind of sits up well. The dimensionals I really do like, but I want to make sure that this doesn't have any gaps or sagging in it. So I'm going to go ahead and I cut this a little long, but put this all the way around the edge. Okay, and I have my frame adhered. I will probably go back and trim this up a little bit just to make it a little more centered, but I had to put the frame where it was because of where I stamped. It was just a little bit off. So no panics, you know, we can fix that. And then my last couple of steps here are going to be to adhere this little guy, and I got him stuck in there. Don't ask me why it's guy. I have no clue. I'll just use that little piece that I trimmed off earlier, and I can adhere that in the middle of this. And then my final step, in order to kind of make these X's and O's match the glossiness of this embossed, is I'm just going to take some glossy accents, and I'm just going to cover the entire surface of each of these letters. Okay, so I have those covered, and right now it kind of looks a little hazy, but this does dry really clear and glassy looking, and so it really makes a great look. And my inspiration for this was kind of like a shiny red lipstick look. I don't know why that came to mind, but that's kind of what I was going for here with the kisses, the X's and the O's and the hugs and the kisses, and it just made me think of some shiny red lipstick. So I hope you enjoyed this card, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.